Welcome back, Titans, to another episode of EMS Lecture Series for St. Pete College. Today we are going to be talking about EPi Drip, how we're going to mix it and how we're going to provide it to our patients. So we know that we can use Epi for a lot of different things. We can use it for cardiac arrest, bradycardia, shock, anaphylaxis, you name it. Epi is a very versatile medication. And today specifically we're going to be using a EPi Drip for shock that's unresponsive to IV fluids or cardiogenic shock with signs of fluid overload. So we have to mix it. We're going to provide it to our patients. Keep in mind that this is an infusion with medication in it, so it's not a standing bolus like lactated ringers or normal saline where your protocol may just say give 1 liter. This is going to be a medication that we are going to identify the concentration, plug it into our equation, and we're going to start administering this medication and titrating up to effect. So it's a little bit different. So what do we have? Let's start off with 1,000 bag. So we have our 1,000 bag of normal saline. First thing we need to do is I want to achieve a 1 microgram per ml solution. So how do I do this? So the first thing I'm going to do is identify my micrograms per ml, which is 1 microgram per ml, and how many mLs I have in my bag. So if I have a 1,000 bag, a normal saline 1,000 bag, and I have 1,000 mic or 1 mic per every ml, all I have to do is multiply that, and I know that 1 microgram for every ml is 1,000 micrograms in my bag. And all you have to do is divide it, take away my zeros to confirm it, so 1 microgram for every ml. So how do I get this? We have our Epi over here, 1 milligram and 10 mLs. We know that 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms. So perfect. That's what I want to make my concentration appropriate. So I'm going to put the entire milligram into my 1,000 bag to get my appropriate concentration. So let's give it to our patient. Now that we've got our bag mixed, we've labeled it appropriately, let's start off with an actual dose. So let's say we have an 80 kilogram patient. We know that the first step is we're always going to plug it into our equation to see how many micrograms we want to be delivering. So let's start off with 80 kilograms. And we're going to multiply it by our desired dose. We'll start off with 0.05. That's going to give us, if we plug it into a calculator, we do the math, that's going to give us 4 micrograms. That's what we want to start at. And it could be any number of these depending on your local protocol or your medical direction. So we have our 4 micrograms. That's what we want to achieve. How do I find out how many drops? I'm going to be using a 20 drop set for this example. So the next step in the process is I'm going to take my 4 micrograms. I know I'm going to divide it by my concentration, which is 1. Obviously, that's going to give us 4 again. And then the next thing I'm going to do to identify how many drops is I'm going to take my drop set, which is 20, multiply my 4 times 20, and that's going to give me 80 drops a minute. And that's going to achieve the 4 micrograms per minute that we want to start delivering with our patient. Let's do another one real quick. So we have our same concentration. We have our 1,000 bag. We have 1 microgram for every ml. So we know we put our 1 milligram of Epi in here to achieve that. We have our volume, we have our concentration. We're going to switch up the drip set. If you only have a 10 drop set, you don't have a 20 drop set. And we're going to start at 0.1 mics per key per minute for this example, still within range from the Nancy Caroline dose. So let's stick with our same 80 kilogram patient. We know that the first thing we're going to do is after we've mixed our bag is we're going to plug it into our equation. So 80 kilograms is going to be multiplied by 0.1. Now 80 written out, 80.00, and we're using tenths. If we don't have a calculator, we know we can just simply slide our decimal over, and that's going to give us 8 micrograms. This is how much we want to deliver. This is our desired dose. But we still need to find the drops. So we're going to take our 8 micrograms. We're going to divide by 1, because that's our concentration. That's going to give us 8. And then remember, we're going to multiply by our drip set. going to give us 80 drops a minute. Pretty simple. You can plug in any kilogram, any range of our equation of our desired dose in there, and hope this helps. Be safe and always cross-check your medications.